So I just got home from the gym, which is why I'm wearing sweaty clothes and I look like shit. So just ignore that part of the video. But I wanted to make this video because I originally didn't see any much about it, and then I read about it a bit more on Twitter, and then I finally watched the video, which if you obviously have read the title of this video, seen the thumbnail, I'm obviously going to be talking about the Nintendo lawsuit against Ludwig. Well, no, it's a little bit of a lawsuit. They came at him with more of a cease and desist. Obviously, lawsuit sounds better for videos, so that's why you put it there. But it's more of it was more of a cease and desist. So if you want a bit more, I'm just going to be going over it briefly because I'm going to be wanting to talk about more of an overall thing, an overall arching topic that this I think has brought to light, but not many people I've seen talk about that I think is kind of important to talk about in terms of the gaming aspect. So if you want to go watch his video first, I definitely recommend it. It's not on his main channel. It's on his Mogul Mail channel, which is where he does stuff like this, just commentary stuff. So he talked about it on there. So I recommend if you want, like I said, if you want more context, definitely go there, watch that first. For me, I'm going to briefly just go over it. So Ludwig held a Smash Brothers Melee, which is one of the old Smash Bros games. If you don't know what Smash Bros is, I don't know what else to say to you, but he came from that game. He was actually somewhat of a pro. I don't know how good he was at the game. I know that he was relatively good. I don't follow Ludwig all that much. I watch his content every once in a while. And I know a little bit about him. You know, I know he's dating Cutie and stuff like that. But I know that he was back in the day, he was very, very good at Smash Bros Melee. That's where he started off, and then he started making content. And he came from Smash Bros Melee. So he still has a massive love for the game, and he runs tournaments for it, which is really good because tournaments are one of the things that help keep old games alive. That's what I'm going to be talking about. But when he was running that tournament, in one of the levels, now if you don't know much about Smash, when it comes to some of the levels, a lot of the levels, they're kind of basically transform at unexpected times of the game. Just correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not a Smash Bros expert, so if I do get any bit about Smash Bros wrong, do feel free to correct me in the comments. I'm not fussed if I am wrong about something, so feel free to correct me. Like I said, it doesn't bother me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's just I don't think it's not timed. There's no prediction of when some of the levels will transform. They'll just randomly transform in the game. And from what I heard, from what Ludwig said, and obviously someone who's played the game a lot, you have to trust his word, is that sometimes these transformations in these levels can actually shape the way that a game goes, and it can actually help some people and some characters more than others, which is a bit detrimental and a bit kind of a little bit BS that you'd say. And if you know what, especially from his community as well after the tournament, because apparently that did actually determine the result of the tournament as well. And from his community, he asked, would you have liked to seen, this transformation frozen and just kept it as normal and stop it from transforming? And the whole entire community, well, majority of the community, I don't think the whole entire community, but majority of his community said that yes, we would have liked to have seen it frozen. And he was originally going to do that. But Nintendo sent him a cease and desist letter for it, saying that we don't want you modifying our game. Now, this has been going on for months, obviously July, but he's only been able to recently talk about this because it's now just come out that Nintendo has put out a whole load of guidelines for you when it comes to running these kind of tournaments. Now, I think that when it comes to guidelines for tournaments, if you own the game, if you own the IP, it's absolutely fair enough to have certain types of guidelines. But I definitely think, and like I said, if you want a bit more context, go watch Ludwig's video, because I'm just kind of going to be talking about it and giving my opinion of why I think it's a bit petty and a bit stupid. So like I said, if you want more context, go to his first or read through all of it yourself, because like I said, it's mostly just going to be me giving my opinion in this video. But a lot of the stuff in it is kind of bullshit. A couple of the points that I'm going to be talking about, I'll talk about them bit by bit. The first one is where some of the people who are actually running these tournaments can't earn more than $10,000. Really, Nintendo, you're that fucking greedy that you don't want these people who are keeping your fucking games alive. And just remember this, when it comes to keeping games alive, when it comes to a game being played and kept alive for a long period of time, it's not the companies that keep it alive. It's the fucking communities. So if someone is willing to go out of their way to run tournaments, to set up tournaments, that person should be able to earn an exceptional amount, especially if those tournaments are doing exceptionally well. If that organizer is beloved by the community, is earning a decent and they're able to make that to the point where they can make that their full-time job instead of having to make it like a side hustle, like Ludwig said in his video, that would be even better for the community, because then he can put even more attention. They can put more attention into the tournaments and make them even better, and maybe run them even more frequently instead of having to do it in their spare time. Some of the other guidelines I think are just very stupid and extremely petty, and it's one of the reasons why I hate a lot of these big companies these days. And Nintendo, I think, would have to at least be at the top of my list when it comes to gatekeeping a lot of their stuff. Now, I think it's somewhat fair enough that, Nintendo you aren't like, other publishers and developers where, even though you get some console exclusives, majority of games that say release on the PS5, they release on Xbox as well. And even the ones that are console exclusive, recently we've seen that they've started to release on Steam, which for me as a PC player and a lot of people out there has been very, very, very good. I am a PC person. I would love to have a PS5, but when it first came out, it was very hard to get. And right now I'm not in the financial state to be able to afford a PS5 right now. So the fact that, Spider-Man came out onto Steam, I was extremely excited. I played the fuck out of that game. I 100%ed that game. I got majority of the achievements for that game. I literally think that I am missing like 1 or 2 achievements for that game. That's how much I fucking loved it. We got God of War on Steam as well. We got Spider-Man Miles Morales, which are probably 3. There's probably Horizon as well. Horizon Zero Dawn is another one. So those are some big games that are finally coming to Steam, and it is very good to see. But Nintendo's never ever been like this. Nintendo's always been their consoles and their consoles only. You will never ever see Mario on fucking Steam. I mean, I'd love to. And you know what? As much as I think it's a bit gatekeeping, I kind of see it as fair enough. You know what? If you want to keep that, that's fair enough. Where I think it goes too far, and I think it goes a bit to the stupid point, is the fact that these people in the community are wanting to mod some of the aspects in Nintendo's games to make it more enjoyable for them, and to the point where they actually like it and the community likes it. And like I said, community is the reason why games stay alive. And the fact that Nintendo want to stop people from modding their games for them to keep enjoying it, I think is extremely stupid and extremely petty. One of the best examples when it comes to modding is Skyrim. Skyrim has kept alive for so long because of the modding scene, and you cannot tell me that it has not. Majority of the people who play Skyrim these days, including myself when I do play, I don't play it often, but I do play it here and there. When I do play it, is modded Skyrim. Do not get many people these days playing vanilla Skyrim. You probably do here and there, so if you're one of them, that's fair enough, that's absolutely fine. But I would have to say the majority of the people who are playing Skyrim now are playing it modded, and that is 100% the reason why people keep coming back to this game. Yes, it's a very open game, and it's probably one of the greatest games released of all time, which is 100% fair enough, so you can make that argument to me. That's 100% fair. But I reckon the reason why it's still extremely popular, like, it's not just the fact that it's aged very well and it's still a very good game, but it's kept so popular because of the amount of mods for the game, and the community are the ones who have kept it alive because of the mods. So if there's a community out there for Smash Melee and they are wanting to mod your game to make it more enjoyable for themselves and keep the game alive, let them do it. If it wasn't for Ludwig and other people like him, Smash Melee would be fucking dead. As a matter of fact, when it came to the guidelines that they released for running Smash tournaments, it was only NA and OCE, because I think NA and Australia were in the same guidelines, at least from what Ludwig said. He said that, it was only them that actually mentioned Smash Melee, because in the Japanese community, they don't care about Smash Melee. It's more Smash Ultimate, which is the most recent Smash. And, they only spoke about that. So it's obviously that Nintendo were just like, yeah, well, because you're playing it now, we didn't give a fuck if you didn't play it, but because you are, we're going to actually care this time. They're the ones keeping your game alive. Stop being so fucking petty. If they want to mod something in your game, let them do it. It's not harming your game in any way. They just like to gatekeep everything. And you know what, to me, I see it as a little bit of pettiness, because it's just like, wow, these guys came up with a really cool idea that some people like. Maybe not all people like this. Maybe you're a big Smash fan and you're like, you know what? I think that when it comes to transformations in the levels, I think that it's a very big element of the game and the original element of the game, and it should be kept in. And I prefer it that way. That's 100% fine. But there's also people out there who like it where they prefer it to not transform and they prefer it to just keep the map frozen, because then they feel like it's more about the combat and less about, you know, having map advantage, because that sometimes like I was listening to Ludwig, and like I said, he was a Smash Melee pro, so I definitely 100% have to trust his word on this, that, you know, when it comes to the transformations in the map, it can totally determine the game, and it actually determined their game. It determined the final game and the winner of the tournament because of that, which, you know what, I see as kind of BS. It is fair enough because it is the game, but I prefer to see, you know, when it comes to fighting games, I prefer to see people, you know, have win because of their skill in their character, not because they actually got lucky with a map. Now, obviously, Smash Melee is different to something like Street Fighter or Mortal Kombat. So, like I said, I can understand if you don't see that view, but that's just my perspective from this. And like I said, if there's people out there who want that, and that will get them to keep playing the game and keep the game alive, let them fucking do it. Stop being so petty. Stop gatekeeping every fucking game that you have. We love your games. Could you imagine if there was a dedicated mod, if Nintendo allowed a dedicated modding community for Tears of the Kingdom? Could you imagine how fucking amazing the amount of mods that people could make for that game? It would honestly, I think, like, this is just personally, so don't fucking come at me. But personally, I think that the modding community for Tears of the Kingdom would surpass Skyrim, because the amount of shit that you can do in Tears of the Kingdom, how open that game is, and the amount of shit that people could add to that game would be fucking ridiculous. I don't think it could reach titty levels of Skyrim. That level, you know, obviously probably not. But when it comes to, you know, just taking the modded scene to a whole new level, I think Tears of the Kingdom would be a great fucking example. But Nintendo would never allow it. Hello, this is me after recording. I just have to add this in. So when it comes to mods for Tears of the Kingdom, because I looked this up, I was somewhat like sure, but I wasn't like 100% sure, so I had to quickly like correct myself just so no one comes at me in the fucking comments. But when it comes to modding Tears of the Kingdom, if you mod your Switch, if you get mods on your Switch, it actually negates your warranty. So Nintendo, as much as there is mods out there, it's not allowed by Nintendo. So that actually completely gets rid of your warranty, and you have to like do some certain things to be able to get mods on Tears of the Kingdom. It's not as simple as when it comes to, you know, just adding mods on your PC. There's no dedicated actual way to add mods through the Switch. The Switch doesn't necessarily straightforward let you add mods. You have to, it's almost like you have to like bypass certain things, and you kind of have to do it illegally in a way, not officially illegally, you know, I'm going to go to jail illegally, but Nintendo illegal guidelines kind of shit. So yeah, that's it. Back to the video. And I think that this is the overarching topic of this situation with Ludwig that I think needs a little bit more light. And Nintendo, you know what? Maybe one day they will ease up. Maybe. Big fucking maybe. Because it's, you know, recently we've seen that Sony and, you know, Microsoft owns Xbox, so it's kind of, you know, understandable that they eventually brought Halo to PC, you know, and everything from Microsoft is coming over. Whenever it's released on the Xbox, it gets released on PC, so because, you know, because of Windows. So I can see that as like that's understandable, but it's good to see that, you know, Sony's starting to ease up with this, but it's very, very, very hard to see, you know, Nintendo do the exact same thing. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. Let me know what you guys think about this, about the whole Ludwig situation, and just like the overall topic about, you know, Nintendo kind of, you know, somewhat gatekeeping a little bit and just being a bit petty as well, I think. But yeah, that's it. Let me know what you guys think, and also if I missed anything, let me know as well in the comments if you think that there's like even bigger topics to talk about that came out of this as well. So yeah, let me know what you guys think. That's it from me. Peace out.